do, folks? It is your boy Charles Younger here, and this is Maryland Terrapins Live on the Voice of College Football. Like I said, I am your host, Charles Younger, and we have a fantastic show for you today. It is Friday, April 24th, 2026. And today we're going to talk about some things that happened over the week. First off, what I learned from the first spring practice and media availability, which happened last Tuesday on the 21st, on the 14th, excuse me. I was not able to bring you a show last week because we had some house issues with some people knocking out some drywall, and the noise was just too loud to produce a quality show for you all. But like I said, what we'll learn about today is what we learned about the first spring practice and media availability last Tuesday, which was on April 14th. We're going to talk about Zion Elee, who is a Nigerian American football player who is joining a long line of Nigerian American football players, including which is pretty popular here in the state of Maryland. That's one of the highest minority demographics here in the state. And that's possibly one reason why he chose to come to Maryland over other schools. Talk a little about the offensive and defensive playbooks, Coach Lock's influence, and is Maryland becoming an option for recruits to stay home and play D1 football? But like I said, this is Maryland Terrapins Live on the Voice of College Football. I am your host, Charles Younger, and you can catch Maryland Terrapins Live on your favorite audio platform, including Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify. The Voice of College Football is all new on Twitter. Join our ongoing conversation with you about the game we all love. There is no off season. So let's get into it because your boys got to go and slang some drinks this evening for the people here in the DMV area. Do serve some drinks at Chadwick's in Alexandria. So if you're feeling froggy and you want to go jump and have a couple beverages, come meet me at Chadwick's. But we will get to the point as I'm uploading some interview segments here with.
He's very young.
I hate the fact that it just automatically plays it when you try to upload something here, but we have some good audio and video with Zion Elee and Dorian Fleming, both who are entering his freshman year with the University of Maryland. Dorian is a redshirt junior. Zion Elee is a true freshman. Both are coming to Maryland to help elevate this program to another level. As you said, we had a season last year that had some great highs and some miserable lows. The highs starting 4-0, winning the first home Big Ten game against Wisconsin, then proceeded to lose every game down the stretch. And some of those games in heartbreaking fashion. You know, having a game where you're up, you're in the fourth quarter and somehow blowing that lead against Washington, against Nebraska. It was just embarrassing. Then getting blown out by Indiana. It was a tough year for Maryland Terrapins fans and Maryland Terrapins alumni and players. But this year, there's a interesting turnover, especially on offense, with Clinton Trickett as the new offensive coordinator, Ted Malachino coming back as defensive coordinator. But we came here to talk about the man himself, and that is Zion Elee, who is a 5-star recruit coming out of who just got himself situated in Maryland. They're doing spring practice, and instead of hearing me talk about it, let's hear what the man himself has to say about what's going on here in Maryland.
Game back last year, I was actually talking to him before he made the commitment to Maryland. He was asking me if he should go to Maryland. I was committed before him, so yeah, we've had a connection since high school. And Sid, also, I've been training with Sid since my freshman year of high school. We have a deep connection too. And ever since I got here, they just been teaching me the new things.
He's talking about Sydney Stewart and Zaire Mathis, other defensive ends to the Maryland offense. Where do you see yourself fitting in this system?
I see myself, just fitting right right in, I guess. I'm ready to play.
With you, Sydney and Zaire as a pass rush, what kind of havoc you think you're going to bring on the Big Ten this year?
What's that?
What kind of havoc you bring as a pass rusher in the Big Ten this year? You three guys there together.
I think we're going to wreak a lot of havoc. We have 3 very highly touted edge rushers, and we're ready to play.
Zion, after you verbally committed and you were still getting a lot of top teams interested in you, could you talk about, was it an easy decision to stay with Maryland? Was it a tough one? What kind of?
It definitely wasn't an easy decision to stay to Maryland because, as you know, all the other schools in the country poaching at me, throwing a lot of stuff at me. And it just was really hard to turn down, but I did because I wanted to stay home.
Is there anything that Coach Loxley kind of preached that helped you make the decision, that you felt like this was the right place?
It's kind of just how he spoke about how the Big Ten is really all the same thing. Like, whether I'll go to another school, I'll still be playing other teams in the Big Ten. So it's all just one conference is where you feel comfortable, and I feel comfortable here, so I chose to stay home.
Why do you feel comfortable here? Just the local connection?
Yeah, just like you said, the local connection. I know people. I done built real bonds with the coaches and stuff, so I feel like that's the right home for me.
How important was your family in making the decision to stay here in Maryland?
It was definitely very important. My mom ain't want me to go out far anyway, so she was real happy when I decided to stay home.
Your mom is from Nigeria, right?
Yeah, my mother's Nigerian, so she's not from here at all.
And you being a first-generation player here, so how's that feel with your family? How's your family feel about that, playing for University of Maryland?
Yeah, like my mom, she was very excited for me to come here. As you know, it's not too far from her. She can come down here anytime, and I'm just putting on for my tribe, my race, my religion, everything.
Zion, how far would your mother have to go with?
This is the farthest. This is the farthest. The farthest she'll be comfortable with. So.
How has your relationship with Coach Loxley grown from recruiter to now actually getting to see him as a coach?
Oh yeah, it's definitely different from the recruiter standpoint. Yeah. Text me and all that, Now I'm a player, and we just talk face to face, stuff like that. But we're growing the bond a little bit.
Zion, you mentioned some of the things that you feel like that difference from high school to college ball so far. What part of your game do you feel like's actually transferred pretty well from the high school game?
I think my pass rush, I'm very dominant there still. And like I said, when I got here, I started learning run technique a lot more, and I think I can play the run now a lot better than I was in high school, so I definitely developed from that.
Zion, do you have any favorite College Park spots yet?
Favorite College Park spots? Nah, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Did you choose number 0?
Yeah, I definitely chose number 0. That was the number I popped off with first at Joppatown, so I chose to make that my headline again.
I understand that single-digit numbers are popular among the players. Is there a reason why?
I don't know. I think I really like 0. It's the foundation to start,
What do you think it is about Coach Montegino's defense that kind of makes it easy for you, or has been easier for you to kind of grasp?
Nothing been easy about it. He's a very technical guy. He goes into detail about a lot of things. I say other people help me ease it down, like Sid and Zaire. Of course, they help me ease down basically what he's saying. He has a lot of good things he's saying and stuff, so I take that in, and Zaire just help me dissect it and all that.
And I know Coach Montegino works with the outside backers, but just having Coach Starks with the D-line, do you feel like he kind of chips in and kind of helps you out, or is kind of giving you any pointers, anything like that?
Yeah, I just started building a relationship with Coach Starks. We just talked about earlier him creating plays and stuff, so I just been talking to him on the one-on-one stuff lately. He definitely talking about development stuff.
Zion, how's your relationship with Malik? I know he's on the offense side of the ball, but he had this whole initiative when he came in as a freshman to try to get some of the people to stay home. You doing the same thing, being a highly recruited guy. What's your relationship with a guy like Malik, as he's already gone through his freshman year and kind of in a similar position like you to try to keep some of these guys home here in Maryland?
Yeah, Malik is a good friend. I also met him at the Under Armour game back in 25, so we already had a foundation back then before he even came to Maryland. So when he got here, we already knew what it was.
How familiar with the history of Nigerian players playing in American football?
When I started getting recruited by colleges, a lot of the colleges started telling me more about the history and stuff, the Nigerian players, the Nigerian race and stuff. And like here at Maryland, we have a lot of them, so I'm ready to be added onto the list.
Who do you think was your favorite you've studied so far? You heard right there, folks, Ngakwe, who is a multi-time Pro Bowler, who has Jonathan Ngakwe, linebacker, defensive end, native of the area, Terp, and a great NFL player for a long time. So you think about it, that's interesting how he pointed to the fact that his heritage also helps him choose to stay in Maryland because Maryland does have a fantastic Nigerian presence, as roughly around 28,000 Nigerian immigrants reside in the DMV area, primarily in PG County, Charles County, one of the highest immigrant demographics in the area, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later. I want to get to another young man who's returned for the team, and that is Dorian Fleming. Dorian Fleming is probably the returning leading receiver. He had 40 catches for 350 yards, averaging 8.5 per catch, and along of 48 and 3 touchdowns. He and Caleb Webb are the two leading receivers returning. We'll talk more about Caleb Webb down the stretch, as he was going to be called upon to be one of the big play guys. As Caleb Webb is, like I said, he is a around 6'5" junior, and junior who's here to hopefully produce well for this team. So let's hear from Dorian Fleming what he has to say about this upcoming season.
Yeah, we're coming in with way more experience. We're keeping the team together. I think we did a good job retaining a lot of talent, offense and defensively. So adding a few new pieces in the receiver room from what we lost, I think we'll be looking pretty good.
Yeah. Dorian, how important are spring practices? I know it's so early on in the process, but just how important are these practices when it comes to, I guess, strengthening the relationship and the chemistry with some of the guys on the offensive side?
I think it's really big. For one, I like this spring ball because those early enrollee guys, you get to get them in and get them adjusted to the program, get their feet wet, and then for everybody that's retaining, it's just more and more reps. The more and more reps that you compete and do it, the better you are when that time comes.
The relationship with Malik, how's that grown?
It's been good. It's been good since I got here, and it continues to be what it is.
Dorian, what are some of your impressions of Coach Trickett, and what do you feel like this offense can be in 2026?
I like Coach Trickett, especially because he likes to incorporate his tight ends well, and he likes to spread the offense out. Let us open up, let us use our speed, and I think that's what we're best at.
Dorian, Coach Loxley's talked about how this year it's kind of more work, less talk. Have you noticed that? And if so, what's that kind of been like?
Yes, I will say there's a lot of guys that's not doing a lot of talking. We come in here every single day, we work, and we work hard, and we come in, we compete, and that's just what I love about this program. We come here to work, and there's nothing else about it.
And then a pretty inexperienced receiving group at the Power 4 level, obviously more experience in the tight end room. Do you guys expect to have a larger role this season?
Yes, for sure. With the addition of Preston Howard, returning other tight ends, I think we'll be bigger in the 12 personnel range.
Yeah. You mentioned Preston. What does Preston bring to the tight end?
He brings a lot. He brings a lot of energy, juice. He's a big guy. He can block. He can catch the ball out of the perimeter. So he makes us very versatile in the tight end room. So I appreciate it.
Are there enough balls to go around among
of
the
course,
tight ends?
There's enough balls to go all around the offense. So we good. Yes, sir.
I know you kind of talked about Coach Trickett, but what do you feel like has kind of made the main difference in kind of how the offense operates between last year and this year, in your opinion?
I would say moving faster, faster tempo of the game, and just getting on the ball, getting set, getting ready for the next play. I think that's going to be big for us.
I know Coach Locke, during the bye weeks last year, he talked a lot about report cards and things like that. And kind of for you this offseason, what did you feel like was kind of the top priority for you that you kind of want to take the next step?
My top priority was becoming more of a vocal leader for my team, just speaking up. I'm starting to become I am an older guy now. So guys are looking at me as a returning starter that's going to be able to be vocal and bring guys along. So with these young guys that we're coming back, that's my role stepping into this year, just being that vocal leader.
Who else have you seen kind of step out into those leadership roles in this new season?
So on offense, Malik, of course, he's our quarterback. He's going to lead over. He's going to take over the offense, and we take his charge. He speaks up well, and we follow his lead.
Dorian, is it true that with single-digit numbers, are they popular among the players?
I wouldn't say they're popular, but I mean, guys like to look good, or I would say a lot of guys wear numbers that they wore in high school or get back to their familiar numbers. So it's just all about their preference.
Is there a reason why you chose 9?
No, actually. Not really. No reason behind the number.
So the coaches just gave it to you?
Yeah.
Talk about being a safety net for Malik as a tight end. Like, how important is that role for you as a receiver?
For me, that's my goal. I played quarterback in high school, so I kind of have that experience of just being in the right spot in the right time when he needs me. So I don't care about getting all the touchdowns or getting all the catches. I just want to be there to keep the chains moving, third down, intermediate, just be that safety net for him when he needs it.
I know there's a couple of questions, but just Coach Schmidt, this is his first time being a position coach at the college level. How's it been just kind of getting to learn from him and be on there?
It's been great. He came in, he taught us the ropes, the way he liked to do things. He's done well, so I appreciate him. He's just bringing us all along. And with older guys being in the room with me, Preston, AJ, a couple guys, I think we try to put it easier on him because we know enough already to the point where we can all help each other.
Dorian, does the team have any leadership groups or anything, or is it just more informal leadership?
I would say more so informal leadership. Of course, we got guys like Daniel Wingate on the defense, Advanced Shrugs. I would say myself, and even younger guys. It doesn't have to be like older guys. I've seen a lot of young guys step into roles like Sid, Malik, like I said, and it's been great. So, and I don't see what a lot of teams you like to see, guys be overpowering. It's not a lot of that. It's more so just everybody talking to each other up, bringing each other along, and that's what I like about the program the best.
What have you seen? What have you seen from Malik from last year this time and this year this time? What kind of progress have you seen from him?
Like I said, his leadership. He was already a leader last year, but coming into this year, he's taking that next step, and I think he's off for a good sophomore season. So I'm proud of him.
You probably line up on the other side. Zion. You guys probably line up a little bit when you're doing blocking stuff. Just what have you seen from him?
Yeah.
How impressive is he? Does he live up to the hype?
Explosive, very explosive. He's going to be a hard matchup for those offenses in the Big Ten with Sid, Zaire, Elee. I'm excited. I'm ready.
He's excited and ready for this upcoming season. That was Dorian Fleming, tight end for Maryland Terrapins. Fleming had one heck of a year. I mean, he had one of the things he did have issues with were the drops, but the boy has got the talent. He's got the tools. Like I said, he averaged 11.4 yards catch at Georgia State before he transferred to Maryland, where he averaged 8.8. So he is that mid-range receiver for the Maryland Terrapins, and he's going to be that safety net. So these two guys who have obviously had opportunities to face off each other in practice, Dorian being the tight end and Zion being the edge rusher. So Dorian knows how explosive this young man is and how much he is lives to the height so far in practice. So, but moving on from that, we do want to talk a little bit about what I said earlier about the Nigerian players who've come through the University of Maryland. But first, you can catch Maryland Terrapins live on your favorite audio platform, including Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify. The Voice of College Football is all new on Twitter. Join our ongoing conversation with the game. Join our ongoing conversations with you about the game we love. There is no off season. And this is Charles Younger here with Maryland Terrapins Live on the Voice of College Football and a history of Nigerian players at the University of Maryland. As I stated earlier, the Washington, D.C. metro area has one of the largest Nigerian immigrant populations in the United States, with approximately 27,570 Nigerian-born residents, representing about 7% of all Nigerian immigrants in the United States. They are usually concentrated in the Maryland suburbs, particularly in Prince George's and Charles counties, and work heavily in healthcare and service sectors. I say key demographics. They live in DC, VA, MD, and West Virginia. The DC area is the second most popular destination for African immigrants overall in the United States after New York City. And history of said Nigerian-born players at the University of Maryland are Nnamdi Egaboya, defensive line. Played at didn't start playing football until 18 and came to the Terps as a defensive lineman and a scout team. Sam Akiyunawe, a defensive end, born in Liberia but with Nigerian heritage. Played for the Terrapins for signs under the free agent for the Tennessee Titans in 2022. Tony Akanlawan, defensive back, a Nigerian-born player for Maryland before his professional career. Obviously, the great Yank Ngakwe, linebacker, defensive end, Nigerian descent, but he's born in DC native with the Terps, NFL standout, and Yuli Alko Olu Wanitimi. Finished his career in Maryland, but got his start at University of Maryland. Came here because came here with his Nigerian parents. So if you think about that, it's probably another good reason why Zion Elee chose Maryland, because they do have a fantastic relationship with the Nigerian community, a phenomenal African American and Africana studies department, so he can stay in touch with his roots with our department there. And like I said, it's just an interesting point of why he chose to come to Maryland, because if you think about it, culture is everything, and if you feel comfortable with your culture, when you have people who represent your culture, who are familiar with the culture, that's easy for you to, envelop the community of being a proud Maryland Terrapin football player. So up next, we're going to talk a little bit about the vibe of in College Park. But like I said, you can catch Maryland Terrapins live on your favorite audio platform, including Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify. The Voice of College Football is all new on X/Twitter. Join our ongoing conversation with you about the game we all love. There is no off season. And like I said, is there a new vibe in College Park? The team finding ways to keep top Maryland talent in the state to play football at the state school. The buzz has been pretty good. We have several guys who are stepping up for this team. Obviously, some players from like Maryland, Virginia, and DC. Like a key player I'm interested in seeing is Messiah Delhomme, who's a safety from Maryland. He's a 6'2", 196-pound safety from Newport News, Virginia. He could have stayed in Virginia, kind of on the UVA, Tech. He could have went to HU. He could have went somewhere, anywhere to those schools, but he chose to come to Maryland, which is still not a super far commute if you think about it, because Newport News is probably around a 4-hour drive from here. He takes over as a safety spot. In 2025, he had 39 total tackles, 27 solo, 12 assisted tackles. He had one forced fumble, one formal recovery, one INT, 3 pass defenses. And at that size, 6'2", 196, I feel he's got phenomenal size and shape for a safety. And then we have transfer Naeem Abdul Rahim. He's a wide receiver who's going to be taking over the spot from Jaleel Farouk. He will be trying to bring up his I thought I had his numbers up here. Here he is. He played at Old Dominion. He's a 6 foot, 190-pound wide receiver from Brooklyn. Shame on you. And in 2025, he had 51 catches for 667 yards, 13.1 yards per catch, 6 touchdowns, and a long of 46. He's going to be taking over that spot where Jaleel Farouk left after graduation. Is an interesting player to look after. Obviously, the show starts and ends with this young man here, and that's Malik Washington, the sophomore quarterback, who had one heck of a of his freshman year, setting freshman records. Bringing up his numbers here for you. Malik Washington had 2,963 yards, completing 57.7% of the passes, which he's going to have to work on that. And hopefully, the new offensive coordinator, Clint Trickett, can work on those. 17 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions, sacked 8 times. He had a long of 62 yards passing, 60-yard pass, excuse me. But he also had 303 yards rushing. He was the second leading rusher on the team, averaging 5.4 yards to carry, including a 73-yard scamper where he ran for a touchdown, 4 rushing touchdowns. He led the team in rushing touchdowns, which is, if you're Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, you can do that, maybe okay, but you don't want your quarterback to be leading your team in rushing touchdowns on a regular basis. So this young man is going to be key to what this team does moving forward. And then also, like I said earlier, where we go? There we go. Caleb Webb, who is the second leading returning receiver for the Maryland Terrapins. Caleb Webb had 22 catches for 318 yards, 14 and a half yards per catch. As long as 29, he had 2 touchdowns on the season. He is a junior at 6'5", 201 pounds from Powder Springs, Georgia. This kid is going to have to step up huge along with Naeem Abdul-Rahim to be the targets on the outside, while Dorian Fleming is the target over the middle and intermediate routes. And then lastly, we talked about him earlier, and that is Zion Elee, who is, like I said, a rush edge. The coaches are saying he's showing some of his explosiveness is there. His athleticism is there. It's all there. It's just whether they can harness that athleticism and focus it into being a single attack weapon, a weapon of mass destruction on quarterbacks in the Big Ten. So coming up next, I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. But like I said, you can catch Maryland Terrapins live at the Voice of College Football on your favorite audio platform, including Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify. The Voice of College Football is all new on Twitter. Join our ongoing conversation about the game we all love. There is no off season. And we're gonna wrap this up real quick here with my final thoughts. Maryland Terrapins spring game is on April 25th at 1 p.m. Hopefully everybody get a chance to check out. Hopefully I'll be there, get a chance to check out what's going on with the team. Coming off a disappointing 2025 where the team finished 4-8, losing its final 8 games this season. What do we want to see from this game? I want to see what Clint Trickett can do with this offense, how he has helped Malik evolve as a quarterback, as a passer. I want to see what Ted Monken will do with these stud pass rushers with Sidney Stewart, Zahir Mathis, and Zion Elee. And I want to see what the influx of players who come through the portal and the freshman class coming in. What do they bring to the table? What are they going to do when it comes to bringing a phenomenal product to the field? And I also want to see if the fans are as interested as we should be when it comes to this team going into 2026 football season. And that would do it for me here on the Voice of College Football. I am Charles Younger here with Maryland Terrapins Live. Like I said, the Voice of College Football is all new on X/Twitter. Join an ongoing conversation with you about the game we all love. There is no offseason, and you can catch Maryland Terrapins Live on your favorite audio platform, including Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify. And that is for Maryland Terrapins Live. I am your host, Charles Younger. Hopefully next week we'll have the OG Mark Gray in with us, and he'll give his perspective as the summer's heating up. You can also catch me, follow me on social media at Charles Younger, CharlesNyonga. I will be hopefully at spring practice. I also will be at AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night. So if you're going to be there, holla at your boy. And also follow me at MLBBro.com because it's the heart of baseball season. So I got your boys doing everything here. So stay tuned to everything's going on. And hopefully we will see you next weekend. And deuces, ooses.